guys, Miss Chris again. So today I'm going to give you your project. We're going to make this little sun magnet, and I have a pattern linked down below that you can print off at home. Cut it out. You're going to cut out your felt. We're going to use the running stitch to sew this little guy together, and then you'll have a fun little project that you can do at home. So let's look a little bit closer and we'll put this guy together. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you will print off the pattern that is linked below, and it will look something like this. You will cut out all three pieces and you will get something that looks like this. Now you're going to lay them on your felt, and you can probably, this is something you want to use a pin for. So you're going to put your pin through the paper and the felt, and then back out the other side like this. Oop. And then with your fabric scissors, what I would do is I would just cut that out so you have something easier to manage, and you're just going to cut all the way around that circle until you want one of these, you want one this size, and you want two of the orange, okay? Now, in the last video, I started sewing the yellow to the gold already to show you the running stitch. So if you would like to see it from the beginning, go ahead and check back in the last video. I showed how we clipped it together, and we went around and I made it this far before I ran out of floss. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to thread my needle just to demo that again. And I've already separated my floss so that I have only 2 strands of the 6. And we're going to thread the needle here. And let me demo one more time how to tie a knot, because I think it's so cool. Okay, we're going to pinch the eye, pinch the ends of the evened floss, and we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Scooch it in there and pull. And voila. Whoopsie. Where's the end? There he is. Voila, we got a knot. Okay, so you guys are going to start from the back. Well, here, let me show you. Let's pin this together or clip it. So you're going to clip it together so that the yellow and the gold don't shift around. You want the yellow to stay centered on the gold. Okay, then we're going to poke up from the back. And see, we've got our knot right there. And we're just going to do the running stitch all the way around this yellow circle. Now I'm using gold floss. You have yellow and gold and orange, and so you can choose to use whatever color you want. If you want there to be a big contrast between the colors and you want your stitches to show up a lot, you might want to use something like, you might want to use orange on the yellow. If you want your stitches to kind of blend in to the felt, then I would use the same color. I'm using gold on yellow just so that it does show up a tiny bit more. Not a whole lot, but I don't know. I just thought it would be kind of fun to have a contrast on mine. So that's what I'm doing. So choose whatever color you like. Make sure, I think I already said this, but make sure that you separate your floss into only 2 strands. And we're going to go around all the way around the circle. Oh, as you're going as well, make sure that you are letting your floss dangle and untwist so that you avoid getting knots. Also, flip your work over. Make sure you have no knots back here before you continue on. That will help alleviate some frustration. Okay, I have gotten down to my last stitch here. If you're probably not this far because I started almost done. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to, and I will meet you back here when you get your circle completed. Okay, now we are ready to tie off this knot, And so what we're going to do is we're going to find that last stitch, oopsie, that we just did. And you're going to stick your needle in there right under that stitch. Give it a pull so you have a little loop, and then you're going to poke your needle through that loop and give it a tug. And I like to do that 2 times. Back under that stitch. Like that. Okay? Then we're going to give it a little clip. So we are done now with that step. So you have got your yellow sewn onto the gold. Okay, now we are going to thread with, I think I'm going to do orange to sew the gold onto the orange sun. Again, you can choose whatever color you like. I'm going to knot it. And now we're going to take the sun and we're going to center the 2 pieces that we just sewed together right on there. Now at this point, I think it's going to be a little bit easier to use the pin because the clip, if I tried to use the clip, it doesn't quite reach. Well, I guess it does, but I'm just going to use the pin. You decide what you want to use. So from this point, we're going to come up from the back again and just make our way around again using the running stitch. Looking for those straight, small, same, evenly spaced stitches. S, 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 S. All the S's, that's what we're looking for. And if you would like, you can pause the video and I will meet you back here when you've made your way all the way around that circle. If you need to stop, well, you probably will. I don't think your floss is going to be long enough to make it all the way around. So you're going to probably have to tie off and start a new piece of floss, and that's to be expected. Okay, let me show you what we got so far. Okay, that's what it's looking like, and go ahead and finish and I'll meet you back here if you want to pause the video. All right, I am down to my last stitch or 2. So let's go ahead and do those. And we will flip the work back over. And let me put the needle through that last stitch I did. Through the loop 2 times. And then we're going to clip it. And that's what we've got so far. Cute. For this next part, we're going to take the other part of our sun. So we've got the front done. Now we're going to take the back, and this is the back, okay? So this is the inside of the back, and we're going to take this little circle and we're going to come up. We're not going to poke through the back of the work because we want this to be nice and neat. So I'm going to start my floss right in between there. I'm only catching the circle. And then I'm going to do my running stitch through the whole thing, going around this circle. And I want to make sure that my stitches are close enough together, like they always should be, but especially this time because we're going to put the magnet in here. We don't want it to slip out. Okay, you can see I've got a little bit of a knot right there. So I'm just going to pick it with my fingers and pull it out. That takes care of that. You always want to be watching what you're doing in case you do get a little bit of a tangle or a snag so that you can take care of it right away. And this is a good time to check the back. Yep, we're looking good. No knots or tangles. And right about here is where I want to stop to get my magnet, and we're going to slip it right in that little pocket that we just made, like that. Okay, so now we've got our magnet in there, and we're going to come up and finish sewing the rest of the way around that circle to catch the magnet in there so he doesn't come out. Maybe one more. Okay, now for this last stitch, this is what I've got so far. I'm not going to go all the way through to the back because I don't want my knot to be back here. I'm going to go through only the layer of the circle that I sewed on. So my needle's coming up between the sun back and the circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and find the last stitch I did, and I'm going to catch it right in there between the two layers and do the same way to tie off. I'm going to pull my needle through that loop that I made. I'm going to do it 2 times, give it a tug, and we're going to clip him off. And it doesn't matter that I've got a tail right here because that's going to be on the inside. So let's look at the back. That's what the back's going to look like. If you guys are wondering why these dots are here around my piece, it's because I've put this together and taken it apart, and so those are my old needle pokes, but yours won't look like that. Okay, we're ready for the next step. So we're going to take our sun that we sewed these 2 pieces to, and we're going to line it up on this piece with that sewn in the middle, and this is what the back looks like. And we're going to make sure, so I drew this sun and it is not symmetrical, which means that the little points don't match up perfectly. So you may have to twist yours around a little bit like this to find the best match. And it's not because you cut it wrong, it's because I made the pattern so that it doesn't match perfectly. And that's just the way that is. So just do the best you can. Okay, we get to this point, and what I'm going to do is take my pins, and I'm going to put one right through here to hold those guys in place, and then I'm going to put one in right up here. Okay, and now I've used the gold thread here, I used orange there, so I think I might use yellow for the outside. And we are going to start this piece of floss a little bit different. Well, kind of like we did the little circle part right here on the back that holds the magnet. We're going to put the floss in between the 2 sun pieces and poke up from behind, but in between these 2. So pull it all the way in. We're going to tuck that little knot down so nobody can see them. And then as we're working along, you're just going to make sure that the 2 points that you're working on, the front and the back, are lined up. And if you can kind of hold those with your thumb as you're working and just hold them in place, that would be great. So here we go. Now I'm going through both layers. I just wanted the knot hiding in between the 2 layers so we can't see it. And when you get to the point of the sun, you're just going to poke through and pivot your work and start going back the other way. So I like to think of those as little mountains. Now we're going down the mountain. Into the valley. And this is probably a good place for you to stop and let your thread dangle. Check the back and make sure you're doing okay. We are. And we're going to continue up this next mountain. Oops. And this is going to take us a little bit of time, and I don't want you guys to rush. So go ahead and work your way all the way around the sun, stopping every so often to check the back of your work and to let your floss dangle and let it get untwisted so that we don't get any knots back there. Oops, okay, there I got a knot. So all I'm going to do is pull it, and then it pulls straight through. So we're going to check the back. We're doing good. This is what we've got on the front. I want you guys to go ahead and continue all the way around. When you get to the end, actually what's going to happen is you are going to need to change floss before you get to the end. I'm not sure at what point, but when you get to where you need to change your floss, you're going to do just like we did for this little circle. You're going to pull the two layers apart, and you're going to put your needle through the last stitch that you can reach in here and hide your knot in between these two layers, okay? And then you're just going to start another piece and be on your way. So let's go ahead and sew the rest of the way around using our running stitch, and go ahead and pause and work on that, and I will meet you back here. Okay, look at you guys, this is so cute. So I went to the very last stitch here, and I'm going to show you how to finish off. So we're going to stick it through the needle through the first layer of our sun, the top layer, and now the thread is coming out right in the middle here, right through these two layers. We are going to stick our needle in there and find a stitch or something, pull, make a loop, and we're going to give it a little tug, and we're going to clip that. Oops. And we're just going to use the end of the needle here to poke that down in there. Oops. Okay, and here we go. Didn't that turn out so cute? And watch, it's a magnet. Ta-da! Hope you guys had fun doing that. That's pretty cool. Okay, you guys, you did a great job. That was so fun, and I'm so excited to see you guys again in class, and I hope you had fun practicing your running stitch, and I will see you soon. Bye.